Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and as 5 o'clock hits this evening, it's time for the weekend, which means it's time for Celtic to kickstart their Premiership season and defend their league title. It's a big weekend as the league kicks off, and we've got a few things to talk about, including the signing of Paulo Bernardo. It's finally happened. Thank Christ. Let's bring in the new season by going down below, hitting like and subscribe. If you're excited for that new season, go and bash the like button. It would be much appreciated. It has been one long summer, but we are here. The real football is back this weekend. None of the international nonsense. You can stick your Euros where the sun don't shine, in my opinion. Celtic are back. The real football is back. We have a lot to talk about. Paulo Bernardo is back. Who would have thought it? Anyway, remember, giveaway's still going. Links in the description below. So let's get it done and out the way, shall we? Paulo Bernardo is officially a Celtic player on a permanent basis following the announcement last night from the club that he had signed the contract and will be part of the Celtic squad for the 2024-25 campaign. It is one that has dragged on for days, not just days, weeks. Not just weeks, months. We've been waiting, and every week we've had an update saying that Paulo Bernardo is almost here. Paulo Bernardo will be signing this week. And it felt like at one point it was just never going to happen. But on the 1st of August 2024, we got the official statement. Let's have a look at it now, shall we, so we can dance through some of the details. Celtic are delighted to announce that Paulo Bernardo has returned to paradise, signing for the club from Benfica on a 5-year deal subject to international clearance. He enjoyed a successful season on loan at Celtic last year, making a total of 33 appearances for the Hoops and helping Brendan Rodgers' side to a league and Scottish Cup double. Paulo will join up with his teammates at Lennoxtown today as Brendan Rodgers' side continue their preparations for the start of the new Premiership season this Sunday against Kilmarnock at Celtic Park. Paulo Bernardo did indeed add comments to it. The interview is behind a paywall on Celtic TV, I believe. More money they want from us, may I add. However, this was the quotes put in that article. He said, "I really enjoyed last season when we won the Championship and the Cup, so it was great for me, my first 2 titles in my career too. I love the club, I love the fans, and I love the city too, so it's very, very nice to be here again. I love the atmosphere at Celtic Park and all the away games. Celtic is a big, big club. The fans feed us in the game so we can score one more goal or win the game in the last minute. They show that they love the club, and I think they really like me too, so I love them." So he has obviously completed his pre-season with Benfica. We can take a positive from that he's not exactly coming in from the dark. It won't be lacking any match fitness or anything like that. He has been training all summer long with the Portuguese side, which means he comes into Celtic pretty much, well, you'd like to think, up to speed and ready to go. I wouldn't expect him to start the game anyway on Sunday. It's not as if we needed him for the beginning of the game to play a 90-minute match. We have our midfield free in O'Reilly, Hatate and McGregor. So, Paulo Bernardo comes into Celtic knowing his role. He will have agreed this in the contract. He knows what he's coming to Celtic to do. But the sky's the limit for Paulo Bernardo. And we've spoke so much about him that I don't need to drill in anymore. It's a smart signing for me. I think when Paulo Bernardo played at his best last season, there was real glimpses of a proper good talent there. Somebody who will only get better. You've got to remember, Paulo Bernardo is still a young lad. By all accounts, he's nowhere near his prime yet. And I think that he showed both in Europe and domestically that he can be a player who only gets better at Celtic. I think there was real positives in his game for the limited minutes that he was given. This is a guy who wasn't getting consistent starts because of the talent we have in the midfield area. It can only get better for Paulo Bernardo. And the fact that we've picked him up for £3.5 million, the fact that he's agreed a contract which seems suitable as well, a 5-year deal. This is an incredibly smart signing from the club. It was always going to be, and I think that's why myself and many other Celtic fans were shouting at the club to get it done, because I don't think you could get many better midfielders out there who would come in for that price, happy to be the role they're in, which is the backup to O'Reilly and Hatate, who are that good. I think coming across really talented midfielders at that price to be a backup is difficult. But we've seen that Paulo Bernardo can be that, and I think listen, never say never. This guy could be starting for Celtic in a couple of years' time. It could be, the replacement to a Matt O'Reilly, to a Rio Hatate. People might not think that now, but he just needs time. He needs minutes. And he'll get more of that now that he's a permanent Celtic player, now that we know he's ours. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the signing. I'm glad that we don't need to talk about it anymore. I think Peter Lawwell made him walk from Lisbon, to be quite honest, the length of time it took. But he's here. That's what matters. We're still one player light from where we were last season. Adam Ida, not here yet. We will talk about him in this video. But we've finally got an outfield signing. Let's get more in now, Celtic. Thanks very much. So a moment ago we brought up Adam Ida, and we still don't have a full clarification on what is happening with him at this moment in time. However, through the week we were offered a real glimpse of hope when it came to signing him on a permanent basis. Of course, we heard about that drama happening down at Norwich due to the fact he missed his flight to join up with the side in Austria. He was internally disciplined for that, and the manager made it clear that he wasn't happy, Celtic playing the biggest factor in that. Then on Wednesday night, an exclusive broke in The Sun, saying that Celtic were edging closer to a deal for Adam Ida, and that it could be done as soon as Sunday's Premiership opener against Kilmarnock. The exact words were, Norwich sources believe a deal could soon be struck to bring Ida back to Celtic, potentially in time for the opener against Kilmarnock. The Irishman is set to be disciplined by the Championship club after failing to make a flight to Austria for a pre-season camp, but it's understood Celtic are keen on the return, and further talks are expected between the clubs in the coming days. We haven't had any updates since on that. That was Wednesday night. It's now Friday afternoon. The game is on Sunday evening. I would be really surprised if Adam Ida was to arrive at Celtic between now and 4:30 on Sunday. I think it would be really, really ambitious to say that'll happen. However, it seems the wheels are turning. It seems like everything's in motion to make this deal happen now. Adam Ida has tried his part by forcing the move. Celtic are now in talks again with Norwich to make it happen. If he's not here by Sunday, I have a good feeling that we could see Adam Ida announced as a Celtic player next week. So just keep an eye out on how that story develops. Of course, I will update you here on the channel, but hopefully there is truth to be believed in that story. Before we get into the match preview, which I'll keep very, very brief, there was a couple of transfer rumours that popped up this morning on social media linking Celtic with two talents that could be targets for the club this summer. The first was a young player, Bazumana Toure, who currently plays for Hammarby in Sweden. Apparently Celtic have been scouting the player. This was some of the words in the Daily Record this morning. Celtic have reportedly scouted Hammarby's teenage African sensation Bazumana Toure. Premier League side Crystal Palace and Bundesliga clubs Leverkusen and Frankfurt have already been linked with the 18-year-old this summer, but it has been claimed in Sweden that last season's double winners have gone a step further by scouting the youngster when he scored in Hammarby's 2-0 win over their rivals last month. He's played 10 times this season with 5 goal contributions for the Swedish side. Only 18 years of age, of course. Don't think that he would be a first team signing per se if he were to join the club. I don't know if there's much in it. It all came off the back of an article that was broke by a Swedish outlet, Football Direct. So, yeah, once again, just a name to keep your eye on. It was something that cropped up this morning. Another one that popped up this morning as well was Owen Beck, somebody who we were linked with quite heavily in the January transfer window before he was loaned back to Dundee for the remainder of last season. Rumours on Liverpool's side of social media this morning were saying that Liverpool have received interest from Celtic for Owen Beck. Liverpool prefer to sell the player rather than loan in this window. It's one of those ones that's popping up on Liverpool pages. Of course, Celtic have had to move on from Hugo Bueno after it emerged that we wouldn't be getting him on loan this season from Wolves. Owen Beck does seem like it makes sense considering we were linked with him so heavily in January, so it's just another one to keep your eye on. I will reserve my opinion on Owen Beck being Celtic's new left back from now because I don't know how much truth is in that story, but his name is out there again. just keep an eye on it. Once again, I will give you any updates if anything comes out. So finally, we can talk about the first game of the season, which happens to be on Sunday at 4:30, live from Celtic Park on Sky Sports, as Jim Craig, Lisbon Lion, lifts the league flag for Celtic. It will be the start of a season in which Celtic look to make it 4 in a row. Can they win 4 in a row for the 5th time in the club's history? We'll soon see. They are firm favourites to win the league, but we've got to get off to a good start as we take on last season's overperforming side in Kilmarnock. And I mean that. I think they did overperform last season. They beat us at Rugby Park, of course, in the league. They knocked us out the League Cup as well. They went on to finish in a place for European football. Kilmarnock had a really strong campaign and they'll be looking to do better, and they know how to get one over Celtic. So Sunday will be a tough opener. There is no denying that. The last time we played Kilmarnock was towards the end of last season. In fact, it was the penultimate game of the season when we took them on at Rugby Park. Celtic won 5-0 on the day. It was a statement performance. It was the real culmination of a Celtic side who were getting better and better. Things were finally starting to gel, and we got revenge on Kilmarnock for some of the damage they'd done to us throughout the 2023-24 season. If we can play anything like we did that day at Rugby Park on the plastic pitch, we should do fine on Sunday. We should. But you can never take things for granted. It will be a tricky game. I don't think it will be a battering by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, a couple of new faces that we'll see. I say that, one new face that we'll see in competitive football, and Kasper Schmeichel, and a lot of the same names that we're used to. They know how to win by now. It's a group of winners, and we should get the job done. Shall we have a look at my predicted starting 11 very quickly? So this is the 11 I've gone for. No surprises in the starting 11 that I've went for here. I think the biggest one would be Ralston starting, but Johnston hasn't played in pre-season yet. I don't know when he'll be ready to come into the starting 11, maybe next week. So I think Ralston might pick up from where he left off in pre-season, starting for the side on Sunday. So I've gone for that back four, which of course still is patchy, still needs improvement. Midfield three is as strong as it possibly could be, with O'Reilly still at the club, so that's good. Should win the game alone for us, that midfield three. And then a front three consisting of Forrest, Kyogo and Dyson Maeda. Hopefully Kyogo can start his season off with a bang and find a goal or two. James Forrest, I think, will pick up where he left off towards the end of last season. And Kasper Schmeichel, of course, in goals. We see him in competitive action for the first time this weekend. So hopefully he doesn't have much to do, but if he does, I'm sure he'll handle it well. If you want to hear more about the Kilmarnock game and more of my thoughts on it, please make sure to check out the Celtic the Thunder podcast from yesterday. We spoke about it more in depth, so you can hear all the opinions of me, Kieran and Callum on that show. Right then, that does it for today. I am excited for Sunday. I'm so glad Celtic are back. If anything happens tomorrow, then I'll be back on the channel with a video or a live stream to talk about it. If not, then I will see you Sunday night for the match reaction. The match reaction, just in case I'm not on the channel tomorrow, the match reaction will be a bit late. I'm at ICW on Sunday on commentary with Billy, so I will be missing the game in person, but I'll be sure to watch it on my laptop before the show starts. And when I'm home, I'll be straight home up the loft to do the match reaction. So if it's a wee bit later on, you know why. Anyway, thank you all for watching today, ladies and gents. If you have enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.